Hi, today we are going to make a brief video about this new input system and the creation of the control files. I have just gone through it again and I verified that if you follow it step by step, you create exactly what we need. I have modified just a few things to make them more clear, but fundamentally it works still with the latest version of Unity that we are using. So what does it do? Well, we are adding, using the new input system, 3 actions: move, jump, and look. Now later we will add other like aiming, shooting, but for now, move, jump, and look is what we have. So how does it work? This is it, right? We have, as you can see, this rig in the follow camera that, if you remember from the previous lessons, is a Cinemachine free look camera. So the top rig and the small rig and the bottom rig are smaller, and the central one is a little bigger. Even though all this is configurable, so you can say each one from from the ground how far it is. Let me show you. So this one is 0.4. See, from the bottom. The middle one is 2.5, whatever meters. You decide what it is. 2.5, 4.5. I think Unity by default uses meters, but it doesn't really matter. It's a relative thing. And then each circle, right, because they are circles, what's the radius? We will modify these, but I just want you to know what we are talking about. And yes, you still have a pink head. Well, too bad. And now we press play. We will fix the pink head, of course, but that's not the goal here. What we have is that with the mouse now I can orbit around her, I can get closer. So now I am basically in the bottom circle, or above I am at the top circle, or somewhere in between, right? Maybe it's also a little too fast, so we have to slow down a bit. The camera is a little difficult to control. But we can move, and then if I move the camera with the mouse, notice that even though right now I'm pressing the W key, so I should only go forward, right? But in a sense, I make her choose a new direction for forward by having her realign to the camera, right? That's what it does. She does. And then if I don't press any keys and no WASD, right, I can have her rotate around her, and I can even have her walk towards the camera, right? Now this is known as basically adventure mode, right? When you can see the face of the avatar from the front, not just the back. Whereas when you go like this, it's called combat mode of the camera. This is a different setup. So combat mode, you always see the back, and is usually, let's say, you grab a gun. That's what we will do, right? When you grab a gun and you aim, fundamentally the camera gets in combat mode. So even if you say press the S key, she doesn't ever face the camera, she walks backward instead. All right? Why? Because when you are in combat mode, you want always to face your enemies that probably are coming towards you, so you don't. It would be weird if you move backward and she turns towards the camera, and then how do you shoot them, right? But if you are just exploring the environment and without aiming and stuff, then probably the adventure mode is best. So how does it work? Well, we created this controls file. How? Well, in scripts, we right-clicked, did create, and then we went all the way down in the menu. We have these input actions. Notice that input actions is present only if we have installed a new input system and so on. So I call these controls. I double-click on it. Double-click on it. Initially it was all empty, so I press plus to add an action map, and I called it gameplay. Again, it's all in the instructions. And then selecting the gameplay, I click 3 times the plus on the side of the actions, and I created move, jump, and look. And then I press the plus buttons twice for move, twice for jump, and twice for look, because I create for each action 2 bindings. One that is essentially keyboard and mouse, the first, and the other one that is the controller. So for instance, for move, I press it plus twice, and I created the WASD one and the left stick on the gamepad, right? Because that's most games with the left stick you control the avatar instead of using, if you don't want to use the WASD keys. Similarly for jumping, notice that is of type button. I selected the space bar to jump and the south button to jump as well. Why is called south button and not, I don't know, square or something like that, or ABC or whatever? That's because on Nintendo controllers, Xbox controllers, PlayStation controllers, and PC general garden variety PC controllers, these letters are all in different positions. The symbols are all in different positions. So in Unity, they want to have a uniform nomenclature for all of them. So they say south to mean the button at the bottom, right? They are like in a diamond, right? So the one at the bottom is the south, the one at the top is north, and east and west. So this way, it works always, no matter which controller you are using, is the bottom that jumps, okay? And then with look, we have the mouse for controlling the camera, or the right stick, right? Like on consoles that they have gamepads, is typically the right stick that you look. So once you are done, you have to save. Remember that this saving doesn't work for this specific window. You have to press Save Asset, this button. That right now is grayed out because I haven't changed anything, right? Again, there are some details like move is of type value vector, whereas jump is of type button, and look also value vector too. Again, it's all explained. So after you save, make sure that this one is still selected, and now you check this checkbox in the inspector, generate C sharp class, you press apply, and it generates this other file that has the same name as this one, but this is a C# file, and it helps essentially use these controllers programmatically, meaning via C#, if I want to use them, basically this thing defines the class that is with an interface that is easy to use these controls, right? For everything that you have, for every binding, for every action, it generates some piece of code, that simple function you call, and it does it. Well, not quite so simple, but simpler than doing it all by yourself by hand. And now after we added the 3 actions, look at that. We have the first one is the set, action set, and the second name after the slash is the actual action. Notice that there is look here. So that's interesting because when we go to the follow camera and we go all the way down, we have the Cinema Machine input provider, and the XY axis field, we literally click on the gameplay look and we drag and drop it here. So that's why now using the mouse we can control the camera, or if you had the controller, the right stick would control the camera because we told it so, right? Say look, mouse, or right stick. So that's why when we press play and I use my mouse, I can move it around. Again, there are some refinements that we want to make, like how fast it is and things like that. We'll do them in some other lesson, okay? For now, that's it. Yes, our head is still pink, but we'll fix that too. Okay, let's go back to out of isometric. And that's it. Thank you.